Welcome back, crew, to beautiful Haulover Inlet and Boats versus Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down here in Miami. And as you can tell by this crew blasting their way out of the inlet, it's a little bit of a rough day, nothing overly crazy, but let's see how our captains fare as they step in the ring and try and do battle with the inlet. And that's going to bring us to the first round of our contest. And here in the first round, the boats are going to toss a cigarette in the ring to see how it fares against Haulover. But let's go, ring the bell, round one, let's get it started. And our crew's got the boat rolling in, up on plane. And you can tell it's a little bit of a rough day, as we mentioned. White caps are starting to form offshore, so it's progressively get a little worse throughout the day as we're going to have thunderstorms rolling in and out as we get out here and try and film. But our crew looks pretty good, doing exactly what this boat wants to do, keeping it up on plane, keeping the bow high, letting the boat eat as it works its way toward the mouth of Haulover. And this crew is not going to have any issues whatsoever as they work their way into the inlet and will easily take a win for the boats here in the first round, which will give the boats a 1-0 edge as we move into the second round of our contest. And here in the second round, the boats are going to toss an Eagle Craft in the ring to try and see if they can keep that momentum going. But here we go, and what in the world is our crew doing here? Now this one I definitely don't recommend. Why in the world would this crew be out here getting straight blasted, water to the face as they're trying to make their way out? Definitely not the safest spot to be in, but our crew's working it and hanging on as they work their way out. The only real problem I have in this situation is that it appears there's a kid in the bow hanging on with no life jacket on. It's one thing as an adult if you want to get out there and do it. Still don't agree with it, but to let your kid do something like that's pretty irresponsible. And unfortunately for this crew, if you know the rules, you know we always play by them. No kids in the bow of the boat coming out the inlet without a life jacket. And unfortunately, even though they make it out and everybody appears to be okay, they take the loss by default, which is going to bring us to a 1-1 tie as we move into the third round of our contest. And here in the third round, the boats are going to toss a striper in the ring to see how it fares. And Cap is not playing. He's got the throttles opened up on this one. The bow's riding extremely high, telling me he's got the engines trimmed up a pretty good amount as well, doing what he's got to do to make sure this thing winds up making it out of the inlet without stuffing. He winds up having to back off the throttles a little bit as it starts getting a little rough as they make it closer to the mouth of the inlet, but right now they look pretty solid, keeping the bow up as they work their way out into the rollers. And this crew looks like they're going to have no issues as they wind up pounding their way out, and the boat winds up taking a win for the boats as they work their way through the inlet. Looking pretty good. Right here, it's a rough day. Captains are going to struggle, but this crew finds a way to take the win, which brings us to the fourth round. The boats are now up 2-1. All they need is one more win, and they can close this one out early. And in this round, the boats are going to toss a Mako in the ring to see if they can get it done. But what in the world's happening here? The Ball Harbor Police Department cuts across his bow. Just in case the waves from Haulover weren't enough, they're like, bro, let's deal with this wake as well, as our captain tries to make it out, and it's a rough day. I'm actually wondering if this wasn't a warning shot saying, man, you don't need to be out here in that boat today. I often always wonder these, especially when it's a rough day like this, like he's got no fishing rods. Where is my dude going? And even the police officer's gonna follow him out like, bro, there's no reason for you to be out here, as he stands on the ready to rescue him. This guy's making it out slowly but surely, but he is getting worked as he makes it out and taking an absolute pounding, and it doesn't last long. This crew winds up making a Haulover U-turn a few moments after we cut the camera off and brings it back in. He looked okay going out. Again, they brought it back in. Even the police followed him out just to let him know he shouldn't be out there. Unfortunately, even though he looked okay on the camera, with that Haulover U-turn, I'm going to have to give him the loss, which is going to bring us to a 2-2 tie. As we move into the fifth and final round of our competition, who will take the win in this episode? Will it be the boats? Haulover? Let's find out, as we're going to have a Sea Ray get vertical, trying to work its way out of Haulover, and this one's a strange one. We get a lake boat coming out of Haulover on a rough day. Now, I gotta go with a couple obvious things. Most of the people on the boat have a life jacket on, which is a positive note for Captain, and somehow Captain also winds up working it out and staying out. I'm not sure where they're going, but wherever they're going, they wind up getting there, and this crew takes the win, and the boats wind up taking the win in this episode. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlet. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.